Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the host for Fight CPS with Miss G, and I also work for Attorney Vincent Davis. Stacy is going to be with us shortly. As most of you guys know, she's a nurse and she takes her break, just like a 30-minute break, to join me on the show. Today, I received a couple of calls from people who actually had CPS knock on their door, and they did not open the door. They said they've been watching Mr. Davis's programs and several co-hosts and hosts, and they learned not to open the door. However, one of them in Riverside County, the social worker was knocking on her door. Her and her husband were in the house and her kids. Her husband just got laid off, and she said he was applying for work on the computer, and she was cooking in the kitchen with the kids. Then she did not answer the phone. Then the social worker left and came back with 5 police officers. So they came back with 5 police officers to remove the children without a warrant. So they kept pounding on her door, and literally, like she said, that she felt like the door was going to break. But she knew her rights, and her husband and her kept asking and shouting, "Do you have a court order? Do you have a court order?" And nobody answered that question. Had they just answered the question, said, "Yes, we have a court order, and here's the court order," and showed the parents the court order, but they didn't want to do that because to them, they don't want to be questioned. Okay. So they still didn't open the door. So the husband shouted and he told them, "Come back with a court order or don't come back at all." And now they're terrified because they feel like they're going to come back, which I don't blame them. But I know that they will go get a court order, but the court order is going to have a bunch of lies in it, basically, about the parents, so they can get that court order from the judge. So you have to indicate to the judge why you want a court order to remove a child or children. Other than that, with that one reason why, you're not going to get a court order. So they're going to lie and tell the judge abuse and neglect, or, whatever they lie and say in the paperwork. But again, your rights, know your rights, and do not open the door. It's very important. Know your rights, do not open the door. Another thing too, when you go on social media, do not bash. If you have an open CPS case or they're investigating your case, do not bash them. Do not give them a reason to come after you harder. They already come after you badly. So don't give them another reason to come after you harder. Okay. I have a lady that actually asked me last night, one of the people that watch the shows, she asked me if I knew someone in North Carolina. Okay. I have a couple of attorneys in North Carolina that they are CPS defense attorneys. If you guys need them, please let me know. You can text me to send you the names and the phone number for these attorneys. I'm happy to do so. In Florida, for some of you that asked me about Florida, there's absolutely no defense attorneys in Florida, which is crazy. So all the attorneys in Florida, they actually work with CPS. They work in juvenile dependency. So they're court appointed attorneys. So there's no such luck in Florida. I am sorry, but I'm still trying. I contacted a legal assistant there in one of the offices, one of the attorney's offices in Florida, and she's going to help me find. She's going to ask around and she's going to help me find a CPS defense attorney, because as of right now, there's absolutely no CPS defense attorneys that I can find. Hey, Stace.
Hi, Miss G.
How are you, baby girl?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm tired today, Stacy.
You've been through a lot, Miss G.
Yeah, I have. And you put that thing on. You look so nursey like.
Oh, trust me, I'm working today.
I know. I know
There's
you are. You look tired too.
a lot of sick people today.
Uh-oh. Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not COVID, is it?
Sometimes, but just sometimes, not like we're inundated or anything.
So I was telling everyone about a couple of phone calls that I received about an attorney in Florida, which
Mm-hmm.
there is none, by the way. All the attorneys that I got a hold of, they're all working for CPS.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yep.
It's terrible,
And
Miss G.
yep. And they do not want to touch.
It's rare that you find an attorney with the cojones to go against the system. So when you do
Mhm.
find one, you have to appreciate them.
Yeah, you do. And I tried, but I was telling everybody that I found a legal assistant that is willing to help me locate, like trying to find attorneys in the state of Florida that can help, because according to her, it's very difficult because people do not want to deal with CPS in Florida. But
Yeah,
I'm trying really, really hard.
they're
Yeah.
terrible. But again, it's like I said, we need to really work on this court watching thing because I think if I think sometimes attorneys are just supportive of the practice of the child kidnapping that CPS does, but
Hmm.
some attorneys just feel powerless because CPS has such deep pockets that they just go along with the system because they feel powerless.
Right.
But when you start putting the public in the courtroom and the public is watching these hearings take place and the public is backing up the attorney to defend their client, then they may feel more equipped to go up against the system. We had a case where learning disabled parents, they were kidnapping their children, where they just needed support or a family member to help them raise their children.
Hmm.
And we caught CPS. We witnessed CPS accusing the parents of forging something to
Hmm.
make it look like they weren't deserving because they they basically made it through everything else okay, so they manufactured reasons to make the parents look bad.
Hmm.
And so we filed a non-party witness affidavit to the case that they were falsely being accused of the forgery and
Hmm.
things like that. So if attorneys have the public going in and giving the additional support, you might start finding attorneys working less and less for the system when they feel that they're equipped to be able to do
Hmm.
so and everything's not so staked against them.
Hmm.
It really works. Plus, judges feel a little more, little less at ease to traffic children to the system when they know the public is watching closely. So it's
I
hard.
want to ask. I want to ask you a question. As you know, I talk to a lot of social workers. I mean, not a lot, two. Okay, and another one that's actually a grandmother who told me that her daughter now is being attacked. You know, they went and took her grandkids from Northern California. She lives up north. Her daughter, and the lady that was working as a CPS social worker, she was an investigative social worker. In fact, she lives in New York, where you are, and she said that she feels like it's like, and she's not the first one who told me this. Even foster parents told me this. She feels like it's payback time. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
you
Like,
mean from, are you saying like from money spent on COVID, so then now they have to recapture it by going after people's kids? Or
yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
and that's
money,
what she told me. Yeah, yeah,
energy is not created nor destroyed, right? Or something
yeah,
along those
yeah,
lines. So it's like the
yeah.
same thing with money. All this money from COVID just doesn't come from, nowhere. They have to find a way. Um, so, but I sat down with a woman who used to be an attorney for Child Protective Services, and she's retired. And so I think she felt the need to disclose this to me. Um, and I noticed she has a lot of anxiety in her day, and I'm sure it's because of some things that she encountered in her career. And she told me that she was an attorney for a certain county, and she heard word that they were adopting out her baby to another county. And she's like, whoa, 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 parents in my county would want that baby. What's going on here? And so she showed up unexpectedly to that court hearing. And she said when she got there, even her friends for many years said to her, do you want to keep your license? Then I suggest you leave now and stay out of it. And I said to this woman, I said, well, do you think the parents had a lot of money and they just did this and that they're going to, have a very supportive home for the child? Or do you think it was child sex trafficking? And she said, I think it was child sex trafficking. And she said, I need a Xanax after what she told me. So this was weighing on her. And that's how easy it is. It's one sentence. Do you value your license?
Everything you're telling me is not a surprise to me, but it still is a surprise to me that they still continue to do this.
It's one sentence. That's all it took. One sentence. Do you value your license? And she walked away. That's all that needs to be said to a caseworker to get people to comply.
So basically, they use threats and intimidation.
One sentence.
Threats and intimidation. And also, after the threat and intimidation, guess what comes? The attack on your family. Yeah,
right.
Immediate family. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they're corrupt on so many levels. Corrupt. I mean, what is your feedback knowing how the system works, Stacy, and knowing that, not to open the door for a social worker, et cetera, what would you say to someone who didn't open the door to a social worker? No.
Right.
Then the social worker left, came back with 5 officers.
Right.
In Riverside County, I believe she said. What would you say to that?
So,
without a court order, by the way, no court order.
You're right.
And the door is going to break from the officer. Like literally, the officers are attacking the door.
We just had a case like this where I live, and I don't know all the details, but the community was applauding the police for getting on ladders, breaking into the house from the 2nd floor to get the kids.
Wow.
And the community was saying the police did a great job. And I'm like, oh my God.
The only thing I can tell people is don't be afraid of the cops. Just don't be afraid of them. Honestly, you have a good lawsuit if they come pounding on your door without a court order. Right. You actually should be happy and celebrating that moment.
Right.
Because they're going to be sued. And believe me, a lot of attorneys, when it comes to cops, they love to take on a civil lawsuit against them.
Right. Yeah, I think that's actually good advice, Miss G. I agree. Yeah, because once you let them in, then you're consenting, and then it's all on you, and you're the one that made the error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But people have to, they have to be smart from the onset and not afraid and not cower to the system. Yep. Yeah.
All I can tell you guys is this. The moment you show fear, remember this, the moment that you show fear, they're going to come after you harder.
And think you're vulnerable.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network.
Oh my God.
You might want to check the connection settings in the Google Home app.
That was my Google.
That's
no
cute.
Google, I don't need you. I don't know why you're talking right now.
Miss G, I used to do home care. And when Alexa or Siri were first coming out, I went to this patient's house and I'm like, well, I have to tell you, you have congestive heart failure. And I started to explain it. And the patient goes to me, hold on, Siri, what is congestive heart failure? And Siri told the person.
When did this happen?
Couple of years ago, like when it was a really new concept. But, I guess what I would tell people to do in certain circumstances, I guess, is what I do myself, because otherwise, if I knew better, I would do something else.
Uh-huh.
But I really think we're under attack. I mean, these are not people. They are not saving families. We saw our poor grandma crying her eyes out. That wasn't helping any family. Taking kids away from their grandparent that they idolize and try to aspire to be like and role play like they're being like their grandmother, and then you take that kid away. That's not helping a family. Our government's not helping our family. And so I think people really, I can't tell you enough how much success I've had with court watching. And I really think that people need to get involved in the court process and go in and remind the courts of your First Amendment right to watch what's happening in the courtroom, let the judges know you're watching, and fill all the seats in the courtroom. And people will tell me, well, my state doesn't have that. No, every state has a First Amendment right. New York State, I know from saying all the time, it's Uniform Rules of Family Court 205.4 if you want to go watch a family court CPS case. But every state has a First Amendment right. And recently we even got the media in on a case locally because they recognize now that family courts are open to the public and are open to the media. And a CPS case was just watched by the New York Times, and they published an article on the case they're watching. Mm-hmm. And that was a case where CPS kidnapped a family's child for their own selves in their own home. So people really have to come in and start watching the courtrooms. They really need to make a physical presence and start watching what's happening in our courtrooms. And that reminds the judges that it's a government by the people and for the people, not by the government for the government. And the more people watch and the more people take an active role in this, the less these things happen. Corruption may never go away, but people really need to go in and take an active role. And I'm good with, if CPS knocks on your door that you don't answer, and then they take your kids with a warrantless, it's kidnapping. And, in the lawsuit, or, the same with the drug tests. That's a Fourth Amendment right. It's illegal search and seizure if they force you to take a drug test.
If you guys want to do things right, if you don't have an attorney yet, if you guys want to do things right, stay calm. Stay calm. Make sure that you have always recording on you. I'm not talking about audio. Audio is not good enough. You have to have video recording. Okay. Video will show people's faces and everything. So be calm, record them. Always have a camera out. If you have kids, have a video camera at home. Have a video camera in your car. I have in my car, front and back. Okay. I have, and that's what saved me, by the way. A lot of people don't understand. I mean, cameras save you. They save you.
When you're honest.
When you're honest, exactly. But when you're dishonest, like some people, it's not going to save you. It's just going to show your dishonesty. Okay? So make sure that you have that. That's very important. Also, Monica, Manya, am I reading that right? She said, no one will call me. I'm not sure whose no one is, honey. Is it who? Social workers, your court-appointed attorney, or who won't call you? Angel said, how do you find out if the court that you're in is allowed to be videotaped or open to the public? Well, in California, you need a consent. They need a judge order they need a judge to okay it, basically. So I don't know what state you're in, Angel. I don't know about New York. What about New York?
So in New York, you're not allowed to videotape court proceedings. But again, like I said, we really enforced our right of public access to the courts. And we just walk in as court watchers. They don't even ask us our names anymore. You just walk in and watch the case.
Okay. Angel is in Florida. See, I was just talking about Florida, Angel. There is absolutely no attorney in Florida that is willing to take a case. None. I tried very hard. None. It's very few that is willing to take a case that fights against CPS. They told me it's time consuming. A lot of money is involved. Oftentimes they target only parents. That's what I heard from 2 attorneys. They target parents who can't afford an attorney.
You know,
So
Miss G,
it's the truth. What I've been telling you guys is the truth. I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's not. I am telling you guys the truth.
you know, Miss G, I feel like sometimes Mr. Davis feels like I'm stepping on his toes when I tell people they should go to paralegal school. But the problem is CPS is like a disease. They don't go away. So you might as well just prepare yourself and accrue as much legal knowledge as possible. And when I say that, I'm not saying to just represent yourself and because there are some cases that are so hard, you absolutely need a lawyer. But if you're legally knowledgeable, when they come at your house and you say, no, you need to have a warrant for that, you're going to be a lot more calm, knowledgeable, assertive. And
Mhm.
we also have, when we retain an attorney, we are their boss.
Mhm.
They're not our boss.
Nope.
I'm their boss. And how are you going to be a boss if you don't know what your boss should be doing or your
Well,
employee should be doing?
but you know that part that you are the boss of the attorney. Oftentimes, people tell Davis and order him to do things their way, and
No, no.
But wait, Davis would write a text message, and he would include me in the text message, and he would tell them, "Hey, I don't feel like this is the right way. It's not the right way to do it. But if you force me to do it your way, you're gonna lose." But
That's fine.
but they still want to do it their way, and they lose, and then they blame him. I witnessed that like 5 times.
Yeah, but remember, Miss G, you're on the show saying that most attorneys work for the other side. So I'm not saying this is an attack on Mr. Davis's practice.
Right.
But when most attorneys work for the other side, the best thing you can do for yourself is equip yourself with knowledge. Because when your attorney starts working for the other side, you're going to know a lot faster, and they're not going to pull all this one over on you, because that's what they do. They take advantage of your vulnerability, your lack of knowledge of the law. And if I spent the $3,000 to become a paralegal much sooner, it probably would have saved me hundreds of thousands in legal fees, because I would have caught on to my bad attorneys that much faster and changed.
Wow. Yeah, but in legal school, paralegal school, we don't learn about CPS.
Corruption.
We really don't. So basically, what it is they feed you with knowledge of basic knowledge. But when it comes to CPS knowledge, I learned from experience, and I learned from Davis. So Davis has been my mentor for a long time. He has. So when it came to CPS cases, I know a little bit more than the basic knowledge of CPS, what to do, what not to do. But the thing about it is, if you don't have an attorney at hand, you're going to be screwed if you don't know your rights. Your rights is very important. Knowing your rights is so important.
Right.
Okay? Very important.
Yeah.
But knowing your rights, knowing how to communicate with evil. See, I had to learn the hard way. Because before, I don't know if you know this, I loved everyone. I swear I did. And I still do. But, you learn who you have, who you entertain, right? Who you keep, who you don't keep. Am I right? There's a certain language you speak to evil people, right? Certain way to communicate with them. Same thing goes with CPS. There's a certain way to communicate with CPS because they're evil. They're not normal. You're not going to get anything good out of them. They're actually demonic individuals. And I mean that with all my heart. They're not normal because all they care about is your kid making them money. That's all it is. Just like a bad boss hiring you to work for them and pays you the bare minimum, and you're doing a lot of work for them. And that boss sees you as a means to complete a task that will benefit them. Same thing with CPS.
And that boss, if you're a social worker watching the show right now, that
Mhm.
boss doesn't care about you either. And
No.
in the moment that anyone starts putting heat on that boss, he's going to drop it on you. And you're going to be the fall guy for everything your boss made you do.
Exactly. You said that very well. But she said here, my daughter's life is in danger and no one cares. I am starting to give up. Please don't give up. And we do care. We really do care. Um, what county is your case in? Let me know that much. Just give me the county. And it does feel like that, Stacey. It does feel like that when you're going through it. No one cares, right? It really does. But I think she meant no one cares in the department. No one cares in the courtroom.
Well, Miss G, when I was going through these things, I was raised in a nice family and we
Mhm.
never had issues with the law. I was raised in a family that never had CPS in the home.
Yep.
So all of this was a new concept to me.
Yeah.
And you know, when you grow up nice, you don't think that these other people are going to be so evil and you're so naive.
Mhm.
And so in America, we're raised to think our country protects us. Our country keeps us safe. But our country does not protect us. It doesn't protect your children. And so when you go through this, you have to go through that whole reprogramming of what
Mhm.
you thought our country does for us versus what really happens. So you have that whole loss there of a country you thought was going to protect you and help your family. You have to go through that whole loss and reorganization in your mind. And then on top of that, it's not just that our government isn't even helping us, it's working against us. And then you find so many few people, as we already discussed, like all these attorneys working for the other side. There's so few people that have the chutzpah to
The
go
what?
the balls to go against the system, right?
Oh my God.
There's not many people that have that. So what you end up finding as a parent is the person that your kids rely on the most is going to be from within you.
Oh my God. That's
Because there's so few people out there with chutzpah.
I can't even say it. I'm not allowed to say it. YouTube will not be happy if I say it. That's crazy. That is insane. That is insane. But I do understand what you're saying. Something really sad happened today. I went on the page where my pages are, and somebody uh, went on my page and posted intercourse stuff, like
They're doing that.
visual, yeah. And I reported it, but it was put on like I don't know how that person did, but whoever that person is, my gut is telling me who that person could be, but I just want to tell that person, sweetheart, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, babe. You might be doing witchcraft, but I have God Almighty on my side. Okay, so that doesn't faze me whatsoever because I am saved by the blood of Christ. Remember that. So that's all I have to say. So think again before you do some shady shit. Don't mess with God's children. Go on, Stacy.
Well, Miss G, I think you said it all very well.
Mm-hmm.
I had that happen on my page too.
Oh wow! I was shocked that there's such a size exist.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, what? What is this? I'd never seen anything like this before in my life. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, I'm old school.
Miss G, it sounds like, you didn't delete it super fast.
No, I did. I did. But I was like looking at the page name. I'm like, is this my page? I'm like, am I in the wrong page or something? Like, what the heck is going on? But Gina explains it perfectly. Here, see, right there. She tried to get me to join her. She's telling parents not to watch your shows. She is trashing you. I know who she is, Gina. That's okay. Again, I have God on my side. That doesn't faze me.
Miss G, we're stronger, okay?
Mhm.
Because when you don't speak up against anything, when you just coast in life and on a very smooth coast in life, and you don't challenge anything, anyone can be your friend,
I know.
and they'll all act nice because it's like, you know, there's nobody's being tested.
Yep.
But when you speak up, you find out where you stand. You find out who your friends are, who your friends are not. And sometimes it's so disappointing and it breaks your heart because you thought somebody would be your friend and then they're not.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we're so much stronger for knowing where we stand. And then
Yep.
other people come around that you'd never expected to come around. And then you know, you embrace that.
Yep.
So
But the thing,
we're
it,
stronger for knowing when people declare themselves who they are.
I agree 100%. And you know what's sad about this is that people, when you speak the truth, and the truth is to deceive you, right? So whatever that person is doing, she's to deceive you guys. You know, he or she, whatever, um, deceive you guys. But when someone like me or Stacy speaks the truth on that, then they become attacked because the truth is not going to help this person deceive you. Does that make sense? That person wants to look like the truth to you to deceive you, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it right without giving up anybody's name, but just be careful who you entertain, really, at the end of the day. Be careful who you entertain because sometimes we go out of our way for people. I know I did. Stacy knows that. I did. I really, really did. But they only used me to get to where they want to go. So
Right.
basically, it's all about what, here I am doing it without any reward back. My reward is the kids to be home. That's my freaking reward because that's my payback to CPS. My
Right.
payback to CPS is get the kids home. To me, that's reward. Other people are using it as a business who are not attorneys or don't even have a legal license for their services. So oftentimes people take it to the next level of being in the system or dealing with the system is a way to make money off of desperate people. And I've been saying this on my shows since I began doing the shows years ago. This is nothing new. I'm not saying anything new. Everyone can watch my old shows, and I said that on my old shows. Same thing. Be careful who you entertain because you could be entertaining Satan and you think he's God. That's all I have to say.
Well, that's
Um,
even when it comes to actual child abuse and
mhm,
the people that the system should be keeping children away from, although the system seems to actually give the children to the abusers. But um, the 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 most harmful child predators are the ones that are deceptive,
mhm,
because if they look scary, act scary, and they make all your red flags go off,
mhm,
they're not as dangerous
mhm,
as the ones that are skilled at being deceptive.
mhm. I agree with you. See, a lot of people, when I told you guys that I want a lot of people to watch this show and pass it on to everyone, it's not for publicity. I want people who don't have CPS cases to hear about CPS. Meaning, I want the world to know. That was the whole purpose. But this evil person is taking it to another level. This evil person, I mean, I have numerous text messages from her saying all she cares about is views. That's all she cares about. And that was previously a couple of years ago. But the thing about it is, you guys have to keep in mind, my goal is to bring kids home, not make money off of you guys, because
Miss
that's
G,
not going to help me.
I can
Okay?
tell you, I can
Yeah.
tell you this, Miss G, the
So
work,
sad. He's
the
so
work,
fucking just sad.
the work you and I do,
Mhm.
like your real talk show where you're really putting things out there,
Mhm.
there is no money worth what you're putting out there, because we're putting ourselves at extreme risk to
Mm-hmm.
expose what we're exposing.
Yeah.
So views, money, it's not worth the risk that we are putting ourselves at. What's worth it to us is, like you said, seeing kids get home to
Mm-hmm.
their family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we do it. No money. If you said, if I pay you this much money, will you put yourself at this level of risk? Would I ever say yes?
Yes. I'm doing it. I've been doing it. A lot of people, you're the only one who knows what I do behind closed doors. I literally do a lot.
Miss
I
G,
do
what you do
so
on the
much.
show, what you do on the show and what you say and what you expose puts us at extreme risk.
Yeah, I know.
It's, just even that, and despite even what you do on the side that people don't know about,
Mm-hmm.
there's no money that you could say, if I pay you this, will you put yourself at this level of risk?
Mm-hmm.
But if you say, if you do this show and you will get kids to back to their family, will you do this? Yes. And that's why we're doing it. Because if this was like a banking transaction and we were exposing something, in the banks, and somebody would kill us for exposing this, we wouldn't do it, right? This is because we care about kids.
I care about kids and animals more than I care about adults. You know why? Not that I don't love adults, I do, but kids are helpless.
Well, and then by the time we're adults, we've had a little bit more chance in life and to experience things.
Well, yeah.
We've had some of our time,
Yeah, I do. But
And what good person would want to stop somebody from exposing things and trying to bring kids home? What good
it's
person
a
would
personal
want to
vendetta.
interfere with that?
It's a personal vendetta because I caught that person lying and I brought the video down. That
But
person
who
said
puts
something in the
but who
fact that Davis helped them get
who who
her
puts their
child out,
who
and he
puts their
didn't.
who puts their personal vendetta over the welfare of children? Who does that?
You know,
Who does that? If
look,
somebody
a
has a disagreement,
narcissist is very clever. A narc is so clever. They will charm the pants off of you. They act innocent, but deep inside them, they're not innocent. But these people will try to destroy you.
right?
And when they see that you're a strong empath, they take it to a different level of destruction. So it's a
But
personal vendetta because I stopped something that was a lie. And I told that person straight to their face, it's a lie. Don't do that.
but Miss G, who puts their personal vendetta over what you're trying to accomplish with getting kids to their
Because
family? Who
that
puts
person is a narcissist. That's all I have
right?
to say.
It's a bad person, because
Yeah.
you can have a disagreement with somebody, but when they recognize that you're an advocate working on bringing kids home, they just walk away and they do their thing and you do your thing. But to take it to the next level, to attack an advocate who's busy working on bringing children home,
Mm-hmm.
that's a full disclosure of who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had disagreements with people, other advocates, and I don't make it my business to take them down when they're doing something good.
Yep, exactly. Thank you. But again, it's called, like Arabella said, personality disorder. Yeah. So it's a you have to deal with different personality disorders out there, I guess. I mean, at this point in my life, I'm too old to keep on with this crazy crap, but I am very open and I'm very forward with what I have to say. I don't know how to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? If you guys are dealing with a trauma, and I'm not going to take advantage of you guys either to take money from you where you're struggling to save your money to find an attorney. I cannot say that I am an advocate and I can help you get your kids back. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'll make up these stories so you guys can help, come and help me pay my bills. Think about that for a second. That bothers me. And this person knows that bothers me. And this person knows where I stand. And that's why this person wants to attack and has her little minions watching the show, right? So they can go report to her. And she also uses a different names on the show. So that way nobody knows she's watching. And she makes different remarks on the shows about me. So grow up, grow up, focus on you, focus on getting your child back, focus on fixing your life, fixing your life. If you want to do your witchcraft, go ahead and do your witchcraft. I don't care what God you serve. But you, that's your business. Mine, I serve the Most High God that has the authority to throw the devil himself into the pit of fire forever. So don't ever think that I fear you, or I fear your threats, or I fear your stupidness. I actually feel sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you. May God have mercy on your soul, because you don't know what the outcome is. Don't mess with God's children, because I have light in me, sweetheart, not darkness. Remember that. I am bold and I'm a warrior, and that will never change. No matter what, baby. Never gonna change. So I had said what I had to say. Again, be careful who you entertain, people. And just to be clear, I honestly don't give a crap if Zero is watching this show. My main focus, me and Stacy, has always been, Stacy, what was the first thing I told you when I met you? I told you a lot of stuff about the shows being all over.
I
All
don't
over
remember.
the world.
You
All
tell me,
over the
Miss
world.
T.
Oh my God. Do you remember when I said my main goal, the main goal here is to have the shows all over the world? Remember?
Yes.
Like for people to watch it who don't have a CPS case. So that way, when we all go out to rally against the government, even the people who never
Right.
been in CPS cases will join us. Because see,
Right.
we want to be a group of people. We want to go out there and destroy what they're doing. So
I
for
agree.
standing hand to hand, I don't know if you remember that, but then I told you share it with people who don't have CPS cases.
I
I
agree,
did.
Miss G. I tell people when you keep it within the movement, you're just talking to people in your own echo chamber who already are aware of what's going on. You need
Mhm.
to expand outside of that little echo chamber of people who know, and expand the knowledge so that people are outside know what's
Right,
going on too. 100%.
right. I just want it to be exposed. This is my mission. My mission is to, again, stop them. And the way we stop them is when we are on this ground walking together in every state and every county. We need to walk together. We need to walk. We need to protest against this. If you guys remember, voting is not going to help, because you could vote for a maniac. You can vote for a narcissist. I can't read a narcissist right away. It takes a while for me to even see that this person is a narcissist. You know why? Because they perfect themselves. If they do it this way and they got exposed, they're gonna change it a different way.
And
You
learn
know, and learn from not showing you that side anymore. They're gonna take a different approach.
each
So
time.
as you meet them, they already perfected themselves. So again, you don't know who you're voting for. So again, my main goal is when they see us, when they see a huge crowd protesting, you know what happens? They start listening. I'm not talking about 30 people protest. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a huge crowd. You know what a huge crowd is? When you can't see the ground, right? All you see is people marching on.
Yep.
That's what we need. We need that kind of people.
We need to show them that we're strong and united, and going to take we're the larger entity now, not them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Manya, I don't know how to say that name. She said I had a law firm that covered, um, she's in Ohio, by the way. I had a law firm that covered up medical evidence that would put the father and caseworker in jail. I can't lose $10.
Look up fraudulent concealment.
Yep, by hiring a bad. Yeah, you need to look that up, and also you need to report that attorney in Ohio, State Bar. But you have to, in order for you to report that attorney, you need to have evidence, because you need to write a declaration. Like, it looks like a declaration, but a statement of why you want them to investigate. So once you write a statement as to why you want them to investigate, and I recommend someone you know that can write without any emotions involved. When you have emotions involved in writing, you're gonna look like you're all over the place. Okay.
Miss
So
G, I have to get back to work.
sorry about that. Bye, Stacy.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay, so guys, again, have somebody write it for you. I do know a couple of people that can write a professional statement, but they take like, like, I don't know, you have to look in your state. You can find a paralegal that can help you. I think they charge like $50 or something like that. Don't use AI. Please do not use AI, artificial intelligence. This is evil. Just don't use that. Use a human person that can write everything down, okay, the way it should be. Try not to write anything to the court yourselves, because you can destroy your own case by yourself. When you start writing, I read, after work, what I do is, a lot of people email me like stuff about their case. Like, for example, like, Miss G, I want to send this to the judge. My case, blah, 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 blah. But I want you to kind of look at my spelling and whatever. So I help them out, like, second eye, or third eye, whatever you want to call it, just to look at the spelling and everything. What they do is they mention they don't mention the social worker's name. What they say is, the social worker said, and then they don't mention the child's name. So what they say, my son. Well, which son, right? So the judges want to hear names, title, social worker title BS, something like that. I'm not saying bright BS, but an example, her title or his title. Write that down. Also, make sure that when you indicate your child, basically, if you say, my child was thirsty and I attempted to give him water, and the social worker, pulled my child from the t-shirt and the child fell. So that you have to say, my son, and put the name, Jason Adams, age 5. Got up, gave him water, social worker dragged him from his t-shirt, he fell and he hurt himself. If there's any 911 calls, or if the social worker told you not to call 911 if the child is injured, you need to document that. I mean, I don't care if you guys have to be 007. If you guys have to invest in a device to take with you that they do not, they can't find, do it. There's a lot like that out there. I've seen them. So there's one that actually goes in your ear like a hearing aid. And that's, that's important for you to have a backup. Sorry guys, this is my dentist. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, for Georgette.
Yes.
Hi, I'm calling from Alcus Dental. I'm just calling to confirm your appointment for tomorrow at 2:30 for your consultation.
Yes, I am going to make it to my appointment tomorrow.
Perfect. So just a quick
Letter, make sure that it makes sense. And obviously, when you write it yourself, again, it's not going to make sense. Believe me, I don't make sense when I write anything pertaining to me or my kids. I don't, because I know that it's going to sound like, even Mr. Davis would be like, huh? What is that? What are you saying? It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. But you need someone else to do it. I think in Los Angeles, I found one that only, if you don't have an attorney and you want to handle the case on your own and you can't afford one, if you want to write a professional letter, I think they charge like $50. So make sure that you find one that's a professional legal letter that you tell them that. But I did have a couple of people that use AI, artificial intelligence. Please do not use artificial intelligence. Again, I'm going to remind you of that. When you use artificial intelligence, it doesn't come out the same way. I know some people swear by it. I know. I don't think it's normal to use a robot. I feel like they want to replace us all with robots. I don't want to encourage it. I don't want to give it my attention. Why would you do that? No, don't do that. We are humans. Remember that all these people get paid by us. We pay their salary. All the taxes they take from us, we pay for all that. SSI, we pay for all that. So we need to stand up. We need to do things right so we can get our children back. If you don't do things right, you're not going to get your child back. And if you react to the social workers, you're definitely not going to get your child back now. Remember, they're clever. You think you can defeat a demon by using force? No, baby, you can't defeat a demon by using force. You can defeat a demon by other ways. Prayers, faith, knowing God listened to your prayer. That's very important. When you walk with your head held up high, that's faith. That's knowing God is with you. When you walk looking down and still fear the enemy, that means you don't trust God and he's not with you. So if you don't trust him, that means he's not with you. So again, God is activated through faith. Faith. And I have seen miracles happen through that faith. So don't think you lost or you're losing. You're not. You're not. So sometimes we have to walk through the fire to be refined, to be renewed. So fix yourself, the way you interact with demonic people. Don't be angry with them. And remember, demons are more afraid of you than you are of them. They really are. That's why they work harder on you to stop the blessing from coming to you. But when you insist about your God, and when you insist that you have the faith, a strong faith, and you walk straight by faith, not by sight, the demon will flee. He will flee, I guarantee you. Angel Faith said, God meets us where our faith is. Yep. Yes, he does. But again, God said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If you see 100 enemy standing right there about to attack you, know that God sent over thousands of army to defend you. But again, faith works. It's very important. And ask God to help you. Ask God to guide you. Ask God to strengthen your faith. God knows I ask him every day. Every day I ask him. Nina said, I agree with you. Shield faith, destroy the fiery flying arrows, and frustrate the plans of the wicked enemy. Oh my God. Oh my God. May God bless you, Lina. That is beautifully said. Yes. And that's why the enemy finds ways to attack you, like this person who's trying to do that. It's just, to me, it's okay, because that makes me happy. You know why? Because that means God is defending me. So the enemy only attacks the good, not the bad. Remember, the enemy hates the truth, and when the truth comes out, the enemy gets upset. So let your words be few, and let your yes be yes and no be no. When you answer a question, for example, if a social worker says, sends you a text message, hey, Miss So-and-so, did you do drugs? in the past like that, and you're reading it, your answer should be no. That's it. Do not say I did drugs when I was 16, I did drugs when I was 12, I did drugs when I was 14, I never done it again, blah, blah, blah. Because they're going to take that, then they're going to tell the judge that you've been doing drugs and you're still doing drugs. The judge is not going to know that it was only when you were 16, foolish 16, just tried it out. No, it's going to be something different than that. The judge is going to see that, hey, they're on drugs. And that even is not imminent danger or substantial danger to the child. It's not. So again, make your words fewer and don't add too much to it, because I've seen people where they keep talking to the social worker. They're going to think, hey, they're going to be my friend. We're going to get along. I'm going to have the child, etc., etc. It's not. It doesn't work that way. They're not going to go against their demonic home. Their demonic home is the state. That's their demon home. It's the demon temple, I call it. Okay? So, you want to win? Do everything you can the right way to get your children back. Do not react. Revenge comes after. The revenge is when you get your children back, and then you can sue them. But before then, you have to collect as many evidence as possible. Many evidence as possible to have on your side, to collect, so that way when you go to a well-known attorney, you know what you need to do. Okay? That is so important. I can't emphasize enough to you guys. Have a separate notebook. Like, I kid you not, separate notebook, and label it. Like today is October 17th, 2023. At 1 p.m., social worker came dressed in a brown suit, right? And black boots, and her badge. She said, the social worker's name, don't say she, Erica Hernandez said at 1:01 p.m. or 1:37 p.m. the following. You have to describe it to you have to be very, very explicit when you write this down. Everything you do and everything you say will be held against you. Okay? How is it going to be held against you? Social workers, for example, will trigger you. A demonic person will trigger you. How? They keep poking at you until you just can't take it anymore and you lose your damn mind. That happened to me several times. Now, I lost my mind. I didn't hurt them physically, but I shouted. I yelled. I yelled back. That's all I did. So if you dish it, I will dish it back. Like, if you, don't even think about it twice. So I took a step back, or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, maybe 6. And I said, what the hell am I doing? I'm not giving God room. You have to be in a sound mind, baby. You have to clean the clutter up here. Clutter. Clutter comes from evil. Confusion comes from evil. You have to be very clever. Instead of you being 100 steps behind the social worker, you need to be 200 steps ahead of them. They will not know what triggers you. I know your kids triggers you. That's the number one. Of course, our kids triggers us. That's our heart. It's our freaking soul. Okay, that's our soul. So they're going to use your kid first. But you have to be calm, and it's hard. After they leave, you can go hit a wall. I don't care what you do. Tear out your closet, whatever you do to let your anger out. But in the meanwhile, when you're in front of them, they're going to do everything to trigger you. Once you react, they're going to point the finger at you and say, look, she's crazy. She needs help. But They fail to see what they done to cause you to react. So they create the BS, you react to the BS, and then they point their finger at you and say you're crazy. That's what the social workers do. They're clever. You need to be smarter than them. When you're calm, you think clearly. When you think clearly, you become the weapon your child needs to come home. Without you, mom and dad, without you, the most important thing to a child is mother and father. Mom and dad. Without you, your kid is going to be left alone. And if your fight hasn't gotten your kids back yet, then you need to take a different approach. That different approach is a must to have. You have to be organized. My mom used to tell me that clutter is from the devil. So I've always been organized. I've always had everything tidy and clean. I've always thought about that as a little girl. As an adult, I think about that. So either way, when you're organized, you think clearly. So when the social workers understand, and she said on October 17 at 1:30 p.m., I went to the house. I knocked on the door, and Miss Hernandez did not want to open the door to me. And she wouldn't let me in, Your Honor. Then Miss Hernandez, with her attorney, she will say, oh, wait a minute now. Now, see that? 1:30, you were wearing a brown suit. You were wearing, your badge. Here's your badge number. Oh, you were wearing black boots too. Oh, the same black boots you're wearing now. It's right here on the notes. It's a journal. Journal it, baby. And oh, but by the way, you had you had fake braids on your hair when you were here. But you must have taken the wig off or something. You have to write down everything. Describe her fake lashes if you have to. Describe her earring, if she was wearing a pearl earring. If she has 3 holes in her ear and in every one she wears an earring, describe that too. You need to become the CIA, the FBI, and undercover for yourself. Because that's going to show the credibility of the social worker sitting on the stand, lying in court. They might not get fired. But the main goal is this, for your attorney to have it so easy to fight back. That's very important. Because everybody wants to be proven right immediately. You guys don't understand that the trial, everything comes out. So don't do anything wrong, in the process. Don't call them names. Don't write text messages to them. That's offensive. Do not do any of that. Because any offense text message to the worker or to the foster parent, the social worker will take that to the judge, and the judge is going to make sure that you lose your parental rights that day. So I'm begging you, do not ruin your case. Focus on your children. Get them back immediately. Because without them, we are nothing. Oh, one of our clients told me to tell you guys about the email. So I received an email today that they're giving gift cards to anybody that refers to them foster that becomes a foster home. Like refer them people, LGBTQT, whatever they call them, refer, people that work from home, people that own or rent their, where they live. It doesn't matter. Basically, refer people, and you get $25 gift card, I guess. So the more people you refer, they're using the money, right? They're using our money to pay them. So all the people that they have as foster parents, a lot of people, I would say most of them are registered sex offenders. I'm not joking. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of them. So the majority of them have a record against them. But they take kids from family members who have absolutely no record. And even if they did, they have a record from 30 years ago or 28 years ago or 15 years ago. And they forget about the new law, the Nancy Skinner law. The Nancy Skinner law, it forbids them to remove children from family members that had a felony against them decades ago, and they pose no current risk to the child now. Meaning, if grandma had a felony or something that she did, grandma stole a bag of food, okay, from the store, and she got caught. And then grandma went to the court dismissed the case. Well, don't do that again, give her a slap on the hand, but it shows on her record for 7 years. Then it's over. Now, that new law, the Nancy Skinner law, it took effect, I think it was in 2022. It was October 2022, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can research that. That gives the relatives the opportunity to keep the children with them. Because what CPS was doing, they were going to the relatives and saying, I'm not going to give you the child because you have a misdemeanor like 30 years ago. What? But even though I'm a productive member of society, I do this, I'm a teacher now. No. So that new law, CPS ignores. CPS ignores the new law. Why? Because with that, if they comply with the new law, they're going to lose funding. And if they lose funding, they're going to be without a job security, social workers, therapists, psychiatrists, job security, doctors and nurses, job security, court-appointed attorney, job security, juvenile dependency judges, job security. All of that is security for them, meaning, why would they go against that? So what they're going to do, they're going to go around the new law and they're going to lie. That's why it's so important for you guys to jot down everything in details. Details is so important. I can't emphasize that to you. Details is so important. I was with Davis in court. Was it last week? I think it was last week. San Diego, I believe. And I can't remember. Was it last week or the week? I can't even remember. Let's just say recently, okay? No, it wasn't San Diego. It was somewhere else. Anyways, the client had everything written down. Everything. You know what everything is? She had the details of how many earrings the social worker had. What were the earrings? She put a heart, a pearl, and a hoop gold earring. Did you guys know that this information saved her? Because again, when they say they were not there, they've never seen the social worker. I mean, that the social worker never met with the parent, and the parent have all that detail. And if the social worker didn't meet that parent, then the social worker who's in court explaining all that and writing before, and you're saying you never seen the parent, is very important. It helps you win the case. It really does, especially in trial. But do not let them know what you're doing. See, when you tell a social worker, oh, look, I have a piece of paper here and a book, and I'm writing down everything. I'm even writing down what you're wearing today. You know why? Because they're going to send some other social worker to be on that stand instead of the other one. Okay? So do not let them know what you're doing. Please, let just, again, be silent. Yes or no answers. That's it. That's all you need. Yes or no answers. Did you do drugs in 2014? Or I'm sorry, 1998. Okay, grandma. Did you ever do no? Grandma, have you done drugs in the last 15 years? and ask them, you know, you don't understand, what type of drugs are you talking about, you know? So a lot of people take medication. So medication is a drug. They think insulin is a drug. Believe it or not, insulin to them is a drug, narcotic drug. I kid you not. That's how stupid the social workers are. So remember, if they can get away with what they're doing, all the lies, if you don't have a backup that saves you, right, from all the lies that they say about you, it's going to show everything that they're saying. It's going to contradict everything that they're saying. Okay? So remember that. Keep a journal. That's very important. I love you too, baby. Lily, thank you, sweetheart. Um, Now here, Lena Stephan said, fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. Proverbs 29:11. And you know what, Lena? I was a fool because I used to be angry. And that's when I told you guys I had to take a step back. I had to take like 6 steps, 7 steps. I don't know. I had to literally reflect on myself because when I'm angry, when you're angry, you become a fool. A fool. You can't think clearly because your anger is taking over your body. It's taking over your thoughts. You're letting it control you. And anger is from not from God. Anger is from evil. So when you get angry, what does the devil do when he loses? He becomes angry. And that's why a lot of people who are possessed by Satan's demons, they get angry. Like, but not in front of people, because in front of people they have to pretend to be nice and they have to show that mask on. But they get angry. There's like, let me find another way now to destroy this person. Let me find another way now to do this. So I admit that I was a fool because I took anger as a way to defend myself when I already knew God is with me. God is defending me. God is my rock. I didn't give him a chance to, but when I gave him a chance to, and I stayed quiet, I've seen results. Results is what speaks to me. Results is what shows me God is with me. Because when I took matter in my own hand being angry, it didn't get me anywhere. It just made my enemy happier. Okay? I agree with you. God bless you, Lena. Manya said, CPS received a call about the father abusing my daughter, and the new caseworker again said, I am not concerned and I'm not putting you as a safety plan. What can I do about that? Received a call about the father abusing my daughter, and the new caseworker again said that I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned and I'm not putting you as a safety plan. So what I'm understanding is that the social worker told you you're not going to be on the safety plan, and that the father is going to do the safety plan. Is that what I'm on? Can you just call me? You know, I'm going to give you my work cell. You can text me. She to call you. Uh, 631-8901. Okay, so that's my work cell. Right here. So just text me on that and just put that you are watching the show and just put your name so that way I can save you to my phone, okay? And let me know exactly, I would rather talk to you guys because writing it down helps a little bit sometimes, but it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I have to wrap it up now. So Miss Grace is telling me to wrap it up. Gotta listen to Miss Grace. Your strength. Wait, hold on. Okay, here we go. I hope I answered your question. Lena said, your strength will be in keeping calm and showing trust in God. Isaiah 30:15. But when you are arrested and stand trial, don't worry in advance about what to say. Just say what God tells you at that moment, at that time. For it is not you who will be speaking, but the Holy Spirit. Mark 13:11. Lena, I love you. You should join me on my prayer shows on Mondays. If you want to join me, Lena, seriously, I would love to have you. Just text me at that number that I just showed on the screen earlier, and I will make sure it happens. Hi, Natalia, sweetheart. Um, Natalia said, Holy Spirit guides us. Yes, amen to that, Natalia. Miss you, Natalia. Amanda said, okay, wait. Palsy, which he got in state custody where another baby had died with the foster mom. They said that he had bruises on his ear, which dad said our 5-year-old hit him with a toy. Now I heard in court my 5-year-old. Interesting. Natalia, just text me to call you after the show. 9-year-old had been staying at the CYFD office and it had been shot, at which they said in court he is there, but they never said anything. I don't understand, Amanda. I love you, baby, but you're not making sense. Do me a favor, Amanda. Oh, well, again, when we write emotions take over, it's not making sense to me. Can you just text me, Amanda, to call you? Here, I'm gonna post my number again. Here it is. So this is my cell number, guys. My work cell number. You can text me to call you, but if you call me, I don't answer the phone. Don't be offended by that. Okay. I will do everything I can. And yes, I'm off work right now at 2:30. I'm actually So at 2:30, it's almost 3 o'clock right now. So 2:30, I'm off work. But after work, you guys can text me, and if you guys have any questions, or you want me to read something, or if you want to, hire us to help you with the case, I'll be happy to give you all the information that you need. Okay. So text me to get a hold of me faster. And that way I will let you know when I'm going to call you. Okay. God bless you all. And thank you so much. And I love you guys all so much. And I will see you guys Thursday on my 1:30 show. Fight CPS will talk with Miss G. All right. I'll talk to you soon.